Right, we be about sports arena. Brasso say ye tenase na fe ye de agudie mu nsem de bro na agudie mu nsem no de ye focus ne se kwan abefa so abenya skant andro a wo hwe ya ndra ka ketue bin kamede ne boy na so Vincent dia ode bae no e boy kama obi otie show ni biaro efa ska e wo hono ma bibia enso etumi ye dem ekoye nti no bomodi ana no ye ntina ne so ye the games ni bi beba na bomodi ana wo diska na fi bibia so no etumi akoye e wo hono games awodo etumi koso endra Blasters of Ghana, impressive performance. Telling you to me call Ekoko then Eko we need away against Madagascar. So I can tell you on authority say we are almost there. Now Ghana at team with 5 points. You this second no. I was 10 and Ghana I was 15 into a 15 points. And Ghana enya 5 point difference. And I heard him say Chad any Comoros better than ebebo. Chad any Comoros ebebo mbo wia. And ye be hu senia gab no esiti as say Comoros winia automatically the gab no be reduce. But then aka 4 games a Ghana bebo Ghana ne Chad bebo in September. Saso and Ghana any Mali bebo na fi Ghana any Central African Republic abo na Ghana ne Comoros side abo. I'm telling you, Ghana is in cruise control. Ghana be kwa away no ne Chad akwa kobo ansa Ghana be bo home e be do hono no everybody will know say victory eko 2 matches na is bibia ewu e hono sa NTM eno Nations League ne so matches ne bi ye den eko so World Cup qualifiers no eko so a enye fedi agro kra England the 3 Lions Thomas Tuchel otumu so gusua ehhye ne team no endro amotumi we need 2-0 and 3-0 against Latvia. Now, Brantia your friend Reece James, born homoden pa. Fikika Brantia ne boshe na enika. Na ababe ye news say na Tomato Hakoka say Reece James the only so a midfielder. Maresca so a midfielder near the idea. Now the game against a year Latvianra obi ohwe game ni bia ehun bibi something significant about positioner Reece James here then e boy e kire say positioner papa ye frɛ no Enzo Maresca e de Reece James ebo no e hwa e na oye de obo uhwe ni hit map na obi enka nkyerɛ say e hwa na oye de obo enye fedi agroko anti the hit map ne beba na fi ebo rem edu ba bi kura de na fi the Reece James ebo left back na obo no na on invert oba be gira midfield honom. In the first half he was playing as a right back omo frɛ no right center back ena na oyusu abrantia na ye frɛ no Rashford ewo nanim first na Bowen ena na ebo ena fi omo sesa no e de Rashford the be to no nti na appear say 3 back na 3 back no de no ogina wide no Rashford and na say right center back no ho and na Abrante friend Reece James here then ball e bi say Maresca clueless say bia o use Abrante no wo positions bi sa na Thomas Tuchel crack as o use onim say full back, but the evidence of what we saw against Latvia no ni inquire odi wo ewo central defense and midfield hono no HS ebi mo so say bia do quick fix bi is answer Osha Reece James ne fitness level no nhedanye de enkoye nti be se Chelsea penifo na ni Thomas Tuchel adin komo se ube yusu na me man nko full back ne nko apen na o masa so asa wo koba overlap na wo koba no because of hamstring injury a disturb na che sa branch ne sa ko biema anhwe na che say amanfo be lusu gidie wo ne mu and the more amanfo lusu gidie wo player mu no na player no so lusu we ye nyina nim say branch no wo form a the quality no was so papa so nkoma Chelsea any tomato headi inti na ema o yusu ni sa we nkoma no so timeline no so a ultimate akwa bibia ele e wo hono man no so no ye discuss de ama e wo hono news ba say abrancha ye fe no Mohammed Hussein over 21 years na me no ka say Accra District Court a sentence abrancha we 100 days in prison. 100 days in prison. Ne bonia oye anasa de oye ne se ebra Friday Ghana any Chad airborne abrante ne TC park so call semenyo eho ne no na police for bona bomo omo bona bomo na quick ene ne omo ne ko Accra District Court ne sentence na ba we no say almost they serve as deterrent. It's answer $10,000 and na FIFA and CAF say OBTC park is wa omutua na omaya ye pitch kra nya ne ye $10,000 e de akwa koma FIFA because of say obi TC park so ebra ye se kona ko hebo no TC park so na de and ye judge no emiemu na on serving as deterrent ebi mu say 2 hash anka ye anka momodia nanka monya de moma ne nkopra krom ene ade anase fine wi pa na jail sentence there ano den pa we ni command no so na etwagu e honom what went right for the Blasters of Ghana yebeba and the goalkeeping department no is it that brand and lack and shine anase he's go-to guy or no and the goalkeeper yebetumi de yani the atono so 32-year-old Benjamin Asare yebehwe ne yedi ho komo ko ewo street is watching Facebook street is watching Facebook street is watching Facebook saso na oko YouTuber MYBET.AFRICA TV, MYBET.AFRICA TV, and I'm on Bet Online Radio, MYBET Online Radio, MYBET Online Radio. Bomodia na join the show no. The bia yeba 2 and I say 1 to 2:30 and I be for your transfer and ye to me analysis na de us no be etumi den ebro ndra me England ye no me cause England be 2 goals in the first half but our man is England be 2 goals in the first half our man is but other matches ni nyina no akoyi e honum but England ye no any team hwamo e honum Vincent ye e boy Vincent ye e den e boy oni ye etna ya kwan bia so udi bet honum and as you be na ye the crucial games no etumi e de abro se na be ya obedi bet na bibia and so to be akoye the thing at the list to my bet and ye omo ehwe abomu wanma so obedi bet nkwade abomodiam just subscribe to my bet register my bet and also join here a Telegram account Sports Arena Telegram account Sports Arena SPORTS Sports ARENA Arena now join here a Telegram account abibia tumi akọ ye ndra mo amutumi hwe match no nyina ewo ye Facebook page no ye beda mase papa ye beda mase se mo ne yehwibo mu ma bibia so no den eko ye ewo honom Vincent memo akọ aba
ya listo ye nchati for ne ahwefo yina ene awie yenim se eno amafo bibre na enjoy game no huge numbers turn up to watch the game and o check it o check it subscribers now kwaku be ha na say me catch kwaku say me nyan start yet but o check it subscribers now list all more than 10,000 people because of Ghana and Madagascar game because my boy Abaso say people from Saudi, Europe, US, baby I'm for share and over 200,000 people and share live commentary now. Easy. So Yanchi been said your new viewers are almost share it. Share Sports Arena at least to kind every day 1 p.m. to 2:30. Na Yajia Gwane never ba. This to all on say Enra me predicted lineup for the Black Stars. No because Enra no to the OTA Sports Arena.
Yeah.
Same selection, same players, same formation, same Inana Ekobai. And you see, Madagascar for no, they are not like Chad. In as much as it's me a continuum, no, they were not like Chad. My men started from games across Europe, no. Na main fambra the African European World Cup qualifiers in the course. And list all Albania for no, they were one side that they've had a lot of good players in their setup, but now adding so many into the limelight. In fact, more some 1 or 2 players be ma uko the European standard, especially player na or very popular was Abranta and the other Armando Broya. But aside Armando Broya, any Barre Jim City, who is a starter, who is a very key player for Atlanta team, no. Apart from Ono, well known, there are other players at least they play in the elite football teams across Europe and American Potemo. So I mean they have players at Inter Milan, they have players at Atlanta and no munya 3 go winner and they watch a group now. They are second with 6 points to England. It means that the promotion to the World Cup, no, they can go World Championship. For 2 teams, especially 2 teams now. Playoff and Albania are on their way to meet me. Watch check here. The shocker of their group is Serbia. I mean, we in Serbia those days. This is a Serbia list. They have squad names, and then Kauba football now. Tete Ivanovic, Matic, Vlahovic, Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. These are the players no, but yes, still they have some nice players. They have players or more set up. They still have the name in air football. And in the European Nations League, no, Omunya 2-0 win against a team and the Serbia, and as a team and the Latvia. Any Austria matches on boy, they are still fourth on the league log, and then Albania points no nyano. Out of 2 games on my board in the World Cup champion qualification, no, or more 3 points in that group, and then it's our group, no, 2 teams. If teams finish on equal points, it means that the season, no, they'll share more goals and on the bay. And looking at the games, no, Serbia any games, but about the UEFA Nations League, we are hopeful say at least Obitima Berin. So Albania for 3 goals, especially over 1.5 goals in that game. No, as also 8 me boy. Bosnia and Cyprus a boy. In fact, who check Cyprus for a list of they are not a nation. Obeka say a football nation, same as Bosnia Herzegovina. Omoye team bia, omusheshia the European giant. Omanji cry 6. But one thing I'm man for any was Cyprus team no say list who check the Cyprus League. It's one of the best leagues Europe, especially omu teams Paphos mo, Omonio Nicosia, Athens mo, dominate the Conference League, any the Europa League. In the check your players Omo players see a canning and players either obo Hapoel Tel Aviv, obo Abia Apollon Limassol, and as obo Omonio Nicosia. All these players players are listed obo the ombo the Cyprus League, maybe obo the Italian Super League, obo La Liga, and obo all these teams so the team omo players in the early level. But I mean and yes, omodi red card. I mean the red card number the dying best of the game, but then Bosnia for nation, Bosnia for say country be Omar ranking through the flanks. A Honor side Kolasinic if free. They have some experienced players almost see a kind of the European top leagues. But I mean and over 1.5 in that game was very likely and so boy both teams discuss was very likely boy and Thomas Tuchel used to ball in the second game for the 3 Lions of England. And then but Ghana game na on Twitter. I was doing the commentary. You read the message, send me notification. Say regimes as a free kick and
brilliant free kick.
Yes, brilliant free kick. And you see, I know Boama England for a convincing win. And then England for now, it is to mind 2 wins from 2 out of 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier campaign or Mobono. And see, Regime's comeback no Listo was emphatic against Lavia. Oma extending England for the unbeaten home record in World Cup qualified games to 30 games. Out of 30 games, Oma winning 27, about draw 3. So it means that if England are playing the World Cup qualifiers, Listo, especially when they are playing at home, don't hesitate to go for a win. On time about so out of 30, it means that out of 30 games on Oma winning 27 about draw, it means that over 98% of Oma games, World Cup games on home no, ning na a win. Listo when ra say na coach Thomas Tuchel set it up. Obo Pickford as the goalkeeper, Reece James, Magui, Ezri Konsa, and Lewis Kelly of Arsenal. And Obo Jude Bellingham, and Branton and Eddie Declan Rice. And then Thomas Tuchel say he's a typical German coach, and he doesn't see Branton and Eddie Jude Bellingham as a typical number 9. Listen to Washa. The last time I make us say one more typical African player. Wakwakubo number 10 as that number 10 sounds that number 10 Obubi ama a top giant clubs na Europe minimum so obi player bi dia entansi. They believe that position it requires a lot of position Mesut Ozil mo abebo position Cesc Fabregas Iniesta mo the kind of players are, but they believe that in as much as Branton and Eddie Bellingham, the number of goals, assists to Oyema, Real Madrid no. Listo, say bisa say ejuma Mesut Ozil in recent times Oyema Real Madrid no. And even Jude Bellingham yana, maybe he has the numbers, but a certain type of profile he believes say he's the number 10, he's the creator of the team no. And even Jude Bellingham here. Jude Bellingham, that box to box midfielder like Frank Lampard. And the inbox awareness, running into the box, positioning, RV in the box at the right time to tap in goals, to play assist about the final pass to score. No, very high. And then about Jude Bellingham, or the natural position na Bellingham about Borussia Dortmund. The position of Bellingham. A boy, yeah, we are seeing na Madrid for the Kofan or Born or any Oboni Declan Rice as a 2 pivotal midfielders. Or Jerry Bowen from the mix, and then Morgan Rogers of Timonidi at the Aston Villa. I him so no a typical number 9 and a bit my boss from the wings. No, or born as the number 10, or Rashford, Ebo Harry Kane. And people are saying, say, with Thomas Tuchel, I quite clear that if Thomas Tuchel is at the realm of the 3 Lions of England, players like Opama, James Madison will get the nod and play as a typical number 10. Nzenwasha, no, he didn't play 3 back. And Thomas Tuchel, your coach, be a list of ultimate predicting. That is the reason why Obu Pep Guardiola, also in the space of 2 weeks, 3 solid games, Pep Guardiola and Timenya win. The reason is before Thomas Tuchel from Dortmund to PSG or about Chelsea, no more 3 back. But when he came to Chelsea, or checking the strength of the team, you know, say if Okubo 4 backer, a bit my head, you know. So or bought a 3 back system to help solidify Chelsea defense. Oh yeah, the first 5 games are not Chelsea ball, not on team win. Or boy draw because right now or team find the defensive balance for the team. What he has to do is say also finding the attacking balance for a Chelsea team. And they check England. They have a very good defense. They have a very good defenders in the move brave. So now starting Magui, captain Manchester Palace, and now starting Ezri Konsa from Aston Villa, Lewis Kelly as the left back, and Oba Branton and Eddie Reece James as the typical right back, and Bowen, Rogers, Rashford, and Harry Kane, a boy. Maybe you will not talk of Latvia for team, no, and I say they don't have the numbers, but you see, who check players almost at here. No more Levi Cole bench. They have a Beriche Eze. They have Phil Foden. They have Morgan Gibbs White. They have Jordan Henderson, who is the midfielder. They have Curtis Jones, Kwanzaa, Dominic Solanke, Trafford, and Kyle Walker. And James Bond or boy, James Ebo full 90, and the other Walker Berman or the work about Emma game but 10 is in the game as someone set it up say a 3-back system, but a 4-back system in England for neighbor. And I'm happy that regimes, I mean, returning from injury, getting back into the 3 lines of England, was sharing the first goal for the England national team. And then watch one celebrity. I mean, it tells you a lot. He's one of the main players, at least, or must struggle for the past 2 years. A player that we know that he has the potential. And in fact, if regimes is fit, but he can't. You mentioned top 3 right backs in the world. How more regimes the. And if he's fit, and or on the peak, no about the boy, he's the player who about the right backs or more we are here. Because at least all, yeah, cast about currently one of the best right backs in the world. You be about Hakraf Hakimi, you be about Ankabebo, Kyle Walker B, you be about Trent Alexander-Arnold, and not just our players in that. Reece James might be the most complete player between the current right backs or more we are saying football this year. Not being a Chelsea fan, but you see, Reece James in terms of defense, Untimin fa Hakraf Hakimi in Totono. Untimin fa Arnold in terms of defense is not that good. Kyle Walker or rely on the pace, but Reece James, whether the pace, whether the strength, whether so be interceptable or be calculating when to tackle, when not to tackle, no, he's the best among the players. Maybe in attack wise, he might not be the best player in attack, but in the crossing into the box, actually say open right backs they deliver one of the most best crosses into the box. He's one of them. About top 3 in the infame. In terms of shooting, say board and or arriving in the box. In fact, he's not only the right back, also a lot of goals. Arnold will give you the assist. Kyle Walker will give you the blend of possessing, running between players. I mean, Kyle Walker, he's not that right back now. Obama that lot of goals and assists, but or attack here because of how fast he is and how silky and you look at regimes offer everything you need in modern football from a right back, being defense, from offense, passes, composure, on striking ball, on fanity, everything, the pace, everything in the game or foul. So I was happy that Enra from 2 years I all struggle and I said this season was stay fit kakra because of the game management. This season I start here we pray for some time and I was saying about. But the number of game management I hope that he will stay fit. And finally, Okoye said, you won't say injuries no form kakra. This season we bought a lot of games for both club and country. I mean Buano. For the first time, we're returning to the 3 Lions of England squad. We all saw how happy coach Thomas Tuchel was when regimes goal. The was sorry and then one said Nra or man of the match award. Medika said this is a player list when he is playing. That's all bar or ball list you have to be there. This season we bought 11 games for Chelsea, not so much in the Conference League. So we bought 2 games. All you can games in 13 plus the EFL games. We bought 1 EFL. We bought 3 FA Cup. So approximately we checking the number of games now, almost 20 games, which is the number of games because games he was fit, but the Chelsea team believe he said we have to rest him because of the surgery and the manner. So yesterday I was very happy say when you go once again Hurricane go and Abrant and they very easy and so every ball in the first goal for the 3 Lions of England, which I was very happy for him as well. So I think that at least England for there they have the squad. And then Kopama and squad no, but don't check the number of players young from in this call-up. They have a bunch of players and the coach only the Obono. I think that in the out of 2 games they have 6 goals plus 5 goals in the World Cup qualifiers. And
yes, I was looking at how I was setting it in up. We were talking about Jude Bellingham. Then Abrantia Efreno, Morgan Rogers, Kupama, even Eze, players up, and Abrantia Efreno, Phil Foden.
Yeah, okay.
players are almost number 10. Then there is Curtin Jones also. As a number 10 position. Morgan Gibbs White also they can play a strike. What I noticed was that they were still struggling with the final pass. There's a normal recycling so it appears that Kopama's replacement in the team is still there.
Yeah.
And hopefully all return here. He will come and bring that win. Or Pushi, Jude Bellingham did not quite. So what he did was that because of that the team was basically Latvia was basically defending. He played 2 number 10s. That is Morgan Rogers and Jude Bellingham. Right? And Rashford and Bowen. Line so. And Declan Rice. And James. And sometimes to Louis Skelly. Louis Skelly was inverting. Ofriman Reece James call left side honomono. And Reece James be joining Declan Rice or midfield.
Okay.
Just to get more players, more Senabea, they will be able to match because they were defending 5 defenders with 4 in front of them, only 1 top. So it became difficult. That is why in the first half, a set piece and Omutumi and the breaking Latvia for down. So it appears that Kopama, just that I also returned to the very best in this particular team. I'm not sure say he will be judged by goals, but the number of how will be to my boy a breaky low block teams down. Will be very crucial. Or attackers are more when he sends the ball in, they will be able to score. So with him coming, because I was looking at Morgan Rogers. I think Morgan Rogers, Diana Kwakoye, so as a number 8, because he can drive, and and can score goals. They come out because Morgan Rogers, Bellingham, the only similar, and maybe Fufodi so Diana Kwakoye say, try to score. What I say, on the number 10 now, he will bring some goals there, here and there, and Palmer, the combine of everything he can score and technically very gifted. I watch them trying to figure out say if there is anybody who can let them forget about Kopama, and I didn't see it.
Yeah, so Listo, I think that Thomas Tuchel team, I mean, it's still new. I feel now all getting things together. But for me, once the Tuchel you'll be use wings. I quite say wingers no, and now. I mean, starting proper people on the starting because there's a lot of wingers Omamba this collab. Noni Madweki say I can they believe that the left side Phil Foden maybe he would like to be starting Phil Foden from once Phil Foden there from up front to but the players it looks likely say they will get a nod in the Chelsea in the England setup be Lewis Kelly, that left back. He's the kind of left back Thomas Tuchel pay, and Obano Penchewo look show me now a players it doesn't look like they have a future with the England national team as of now. So Lewis Kelly being the player from that side and sorted if Reece James is fit, maybe he will battle with Arnold and Kyle Walker or that right position. But the centre back no, and our baby be if Maguire is fit, John Stones, all these players back, that starting not no. In terms of midfield, he doesn't have a problem at all. Only problem there are a lot of players at least or more injuries are likely say or more bad. The coach will integrate them into the team, especially Obiti Mason Mount like this. Obiti might integrate into the team straight. Kopama and then the wingers no Akwakwe Rashford and then Abranta and the Jared Bowen. They will need more players in the setup, and maybe Grealish. And all these players they believe that Omolusu form no, they might also step in. So I mean, it was a great victory for England. Reece James, man of the match, he was training. A lot of people were happy. Say, Unya, that victory now. Also, team the winning here. List all. A lot of games. Also in the African Championship. and then say all the notable teams are, I say, and not for the first time teams are no more odd in this one. Likely some may once say odd uko my bet now kucha bet. Now team and odd is so it means that only team are likely so bad or be winning. Namibia Equatorial Guinea, their odds were some way somehow the same because Namibia had 2 odds, 2.9 something odds, and then a team and Equatorial Guinea so 2.4 something odds. So now we now 2 odds. This is a kucha bet na list to. We say my opponent will be 2+ odds. Now draw no 3 series. It tells you that game no probability will be a bit very high. That is a double chance option. Either a home or draw or away or draw. It means that draw near 3 series will be our 2-2. It means that the game no will be take you chances no might will be my rating. So mostly I like that games they happen in a draw. Then no Namibia and Equatorial Guinea. And we check here Equatorial Guinea for now. After a million ensue. So we play an or suspension ne ban. And after winning the case, I was also returning back was something that was very huge for a year. Equatorial Guinea for you how on the ball AFCON. The surprises on year to where Omokoya, Kobobon, Kokudria. A lot of people saw the Equatorial Guinea were building something different for a year Omutimino. And Namibia for the Cantuatna 50 first half 0-0, second half NNA Namibia before Beshe. And that 3 minutes per list they bounce back a equalizer game no obianti anhye biem. So apart from that game, any Central African Republic, any Mali game a boy obekaya before me Black Stars game no impute no. I mentioned that Comoros for no team bia we Black Stars or kokoshe Comoros for no list to omon time lose home and sorry Central African Republic for no the team after Madagascar kosho 4-1 the World Cup qualifiers are not airborne. Chad kohon ko share Chad. And not only Ghana kohon. Ghana no ko board draw. In terms of the World Cup qualifiers are airborne. List all. They are very good. Ode omo AFCON nema ekokanwa. You are making a huge difference. So aside from Madagascar question 4-1, they had a very good home record. In as much as omo matches Central African Republic omo make sure say it was going to be an interesting game, but the list for Mali was going to be a draw. Say Mali for at least they will pick up a point from that game, and then you how a game in the end. The game was very tough. In fact, Mali for the list to almost start say they are notable best players, all the best players of Moina from defense to midfield to attack. Almost at almost players are almost both the highest top teams. In fact, almost at Aliou Dieng. Sa player no, I mean he's played for Alalia. Sa kwano wabo Alalia with the African League match. And wako Alakud or Saudi. Omobo Koulibaly who also played in wabo Rangers, wabo Circle Bruges, wabo Angers, wakobo Salernitana, and then Osiakan Edema Leche. The Syria animal, Omobo USB Soma, Tottenham Hotspur player, no, Omo Ebo Kamori Dumbia. I mentioned his name, Musia Kama Breast, and then almost also ball Douglas Nenia, Obesha that famous free kick in the African Cup of Nations, or also El Salzburg, and then Omobo El Black Turi, or no striker. Edema Stuttgart in fact this season will probably now or recover. You know, he played on the ball for I think some few minutes against Austin Kial and on the ball some few minutes against Bayern Leverkusen or my friend man by into Achakia they played their best players, but in fact Jeffrey Kondombia as one of the main players, and then apparently Luis Mafuta who is the top scorer for Central African Republic. They made sure say if they are not going to score, the defenders for the team say they are not going to concede a goal on their behalf. I mean, I think that I wasn't surprised that that game ended in a drawn game. But one thing I list to all, Meka say Abebuan say that draw ne happen. I think Ghana in some way. I'm a Ghana. If we are leading at the I mean the top spots very clear, very easy for ama saa draw nearby aba be very easy for Ghana. Burkina Faso any Guinea Bissau ekoko boy. In fact, we check Burkina Faso no, their squad with Dango Tara of Bournemouth, Lassina Traore of Shakhtar Donetsk player no, any Hassan Bandi mo lead attack now. You know that it's going to be very difficult for Guinea Bissau to score them. But you see, the Guinea Bissau on 18 be a list of. They also have some interesting players. Sa Bito now or Everton. I hold no see a kai and a Branton edit the table. These all players here, they are very good. But you see, the issue was if the midfielders of Alpha Semedo, any big can find ways and means to find a Bito, and then they will check it. Burkina Faso for now. In recent time, list of one of the teams they are doing so well in African continent. But Guinea-Bissau prior to this game, list of no more last 9 games about they are without a win. So it was going easy game set. It doesn't look like it's a Guinea-Bissau for the bit me stop it man Burkina Faso almost by 8 games an hour bono now or just a single lose or sad game. So a double chance for Burkina Faso was very good for them. And so Omunya a 2-1 victory. Liberia Satome Principe. I mean, it was a game. That's Liberia for us. We knew that Liberia was going to win. Ivory Coast Gambia. Listo. Ihunhawa Gambia for no. Ebe surprise amount for in the AFCON. I told you that year. And in fact, they are one of the teams they have some interesting players at their disposal. Check it from defense or the back midfield. They have interesting players playing for good players. And then Aliou Fedara, a player de Makomo, he's been playing in day out for ASS Fabregas team no. Omo a brand and they minte. So how can Bishia Chelsea poor Chelsea 2 goals be Brighton? Ono Efri Gambia. He's also a very good player. Omo Musa Barrow, an experienced player. Wabo Atlanta, Okobo Bologna, and then or Saudi Al Tawoun, a hono didn't and then Omo Abdullah Sisi of St. Pauli in the Bundesliga. The Usha Matakana, they are very good players, but coming up against Ivory Coast. In fact, they are the African champions, and especially being a World Cup qualifiers, Omobo Alassane Ouattara Stadium. In fact, now in himself was going to be a start fairly February. In himself very difficult for a Gambia so meet Makoko Shomo. Also, how coach made fight set it up list to and should I get different from team now Omodeje AFCON. Branton the referencing go start here. Jean-Philippe Gabin only a new player on the number Osman Diamonde a new player on the number set up Samson and Hassan Kamara in defense virtually new players, but in terms of midfield the leaders of the team Branton Eddie Sangare of Nottingham Forest, any Frankesia, any Udiniki, or Saudi Al Ali, or more Estatia, or Stati Pepe, and Branton the Eddie Mohamed Diamondi. This is a player, Nanka Ghana, your opportunity to get a friend, or a ball right to dream, spending most of the time in Ghana. By the moment, coach Utuado friend, the player opted say and they Ivory Coast and they almost started now. Who was a player? Now most of us were expecting say at least Gobert accept it. Now go be see kind Edaman Ghana, Simon Adingra, and then Sebastian Ale, and so a boy. And the only one goal Sebastian Haller share and Munya. In fact, this to in World Cup qualifiers like this, sometimes we bring in new players. Some of the players will be injured. So how our best set up and how our approach with tournaments might be different from how our World Cup qualifiers. And that 15-minute goal Omunya was the only goal AP was game. And in fact, the most important 10-year victory. In the Nokopimo or the league log and I said the table and Ivory Coast it was 16 points out for 6 games on board. List of match 14 goals and they haven't conceded. So it tells you how prolific they are. 14 goals without conceding a goal in 6 games. Very prolific. I also able coach MFI so Abaso Gabon Obameyang lead the charge for them no. List of and they also had a win against Kenya, and this week they had a win against Kenya, and also 15 points. Into what check is our group now? In as much as Ivory Coast are winning 6 games or more, 16 points without conceding a goal. Gabon so etaromachi also 15 points so that victory, in as much as it was very easy for them, I think that it was Tunisia Betty na Tunisia Tunisia 86 minutes and a Branton Sefedin Jaziri enya the goal go no osi akandema Zamalek and the finally 90+2 Elias Achuri ono FC Copenhagen ono nya penalty onya. In fact Branton din Eddie Mbulu obenya penalty anka game no ebetimi aba be 2-1, but also as a penalty Tunisia for no HS with Islam Slimani, with all these players, Hazem Mastur, the experienced players are more in their setup in list or boy. This is a Tunisia setup or more bono. For a lot of players were not in their in their setup, but they still find ways and means omutimi at a winning game. So Tunisia 2-0 victory. No, it came very late, but the most important thing is Tunisia. Yes,
it was frustrating.
Hey,
now my last team. Now an open account say no born last. Now Malawi for no a the red card. Now Tunisia for struggle. Come on, a boom pow, you have victory because almost they are on the verge of qualifying, and they needed this particular win to extend the gap because Namibia. Omu group in there now to means F-pa. Omu Namibia for na like April. As Namibia for na the closest country to them. So and last show and Malawi for no Ukraine penalty and omu bosse no keeper na eche. So it was a game Shana very frustrating, but they left it very late and it was frustrating. Come on.
Yeah, so the last victory now, 80 minutes bombs. I think that they did very well. But what I want to say is Tunisia, and look check the standings now, group H, almost 16 points out of 6 games, almost 9 goals. They haven't conceded a goal. Namibia, 12 points out of the 6 games. Liberia 10, Equatorial Guinea 7, Malawi 6. And as I told me, Principino, however, the shipping boys of the group they don't have any points. So I think that that victory was so it was important for Yetimandi. And if they had drawn the game, it means that the combo 13 points are still, and Namibia will be having the Norda and can never beat me Akoye Eddie Amomo and Ethiopia Djibouti. Djibouti there will be actually Ocean, and it was easy that Ethiopia. In fact, they might not be able to qualify ahead of Egypt or no 13 points out of 5 games our ball. But Ethiopia getting that victory, Bamana Benya 6 months against Djibouti in a game was odds and they change investors because a friend is saying Timani didn't Ethiopia on 4 points in Ensharan, but it was a game very difficult for the other opponents. So I think that this was an interesting game. African front hall any European games course. There will be more games I bet to us, especially African games. No,
and that Yenshana Mamma Bosso na fe ye dear corner dear ba honum na fe. Bibia so enkoyi oda so a sports arena yeguso a ye person nsem se na be ya oso be hu de ko na afi ohun de ba. First of all, Africa has 4 p.m. Angola ni Cape Verde at the boy ni Angola ni Cape Verde almost mu group no e more than pa Cape Verde na that first or 10 points. So a win for Angola means obi na den at the free top one. And a Cameroon so any Libya bebo. Now the it is a Cameroon 9 points and Libya 8 points. Honum. Nti chane so. Benin and South Africa. Now news ban say South Africa for no. Omo feel they unqualified player. No we nya 2 yellow cards. Ayamo Kwena. Mamelodi Sundowns midfielder no against Lesotho almost failed there no tiama ese protest bi there cause wa say a go through and be lose 3 points now omo no lead the table no with 10 points. Benin was 8, Rwanda was 7, Nigeria was 6. Nigeria and Zimbabwe but Zimbabwe was 3 points. Lesotho and so ne Rwanda bebo na the things say Benin and South Africa ebebo ewo eye South Africa home. Peter Mokaba Stadium Polokwane ahono mebo sa game way. The South Africa for now will get a lot of people to support them to victory. They will need this particular victory. Nigeria and Zimbabwe and Victor Osimhen ekwan bias also winning because at this stage any drop point biano ebe hadwene pa. If they are able to beat Zimbabwe, they will move ombenya what do we call it 9 points. 9 points, you know, it will depend on Rwanda any Benin resource. To Nigeria, they can't afford to slip up today at home. Rwanda suni Lesotho bebo Rwanda sono and that third or 7 points is also we near or movie there then and they are that top. So only Lesotho and ebo eti and also move by them pa. Uganda any Guinea for they've been very disappointing, very disappointing. Honum. Omoni Uganda was 6 points, Guinea was 7 points. The other first Algeria and Mozambique in the second 12 points. Botswana and Somalia and Ebo. It appears that Somalia for enya a year draw. Omoni Guinea for a year 0-0. Inti Botswana for no. And then omo no win here. The thing is if they are able to win, almost omenya 9 points. Now it's almost close the gap between Omoni Mozambique and Algeria. Burundi and Seychelles and Ebebo and also a neutral venue. And as I give Ebekoso now omebon McNeese Stade Duhoni Morocco and Omokakobo a game Burundi and Seychelles. Cameroon and Libya and Ebo. Now sa game when easy. Cameroon for now a press conference led by Vincent Abubakar calling for the sports ministry and the GFA to collaborate. It's almost a disturbing peace of mind. Now they are going to play against Libya. That second. Libya 8 points and a Cape Verde 10 points. Cape Verde ni Angola and Eden. Ebo. Angola winning or rather that 10 points. Cape Verde so winning or 13. Now I said they are extending the lead. A very difficult. It's Cameroon said and Penifania de and Adjubreo. Now I'm going to mention Libya and I'm matching and Yefe grow cry. Cameroon and Libya. Egypt and so any Sierra Leone and Ebo. Egypt was 13 points. Burkina Faso so 11 points. The thing is if Egypt win today or 16 points, that is or train a year move 5 points. Burkina Faso another second and also Egypt there home honum. Sudan kwesi apia team no ha enye easy kwesi apia any South Sudan and ebo Sudan any South Sudan ebo na South Sudan for no ekopie mu ewo Benghazi omobo Libya. Matisse of February Stadium 10,000 capacity. Na I was a komoko for South Sudan for no e di omo free airport di omo come hotel. Esi Sudan penny for no matter.
Say they are in charge no.
Yeah.
Of for more than 4 hours.
What da intina ye friend na onfa.
Oh, asem
omo ma team ni stranded. Ni nyina African size inti kwesi apia e was say no obogum a ono that first ti the tenese obe increasing in lead no e dey akọ 14 points. DR Congo na that second 10 points and Senegal interestingly and there was a third or 9 points. Algeria and Mozambique omo nyina 12 points. Algeria ebo home amo ebo ewo Hussein Atta Ahmed Stadium TZ Onzo 50,000 capacity and then you 9 p.m. and yefe di agrokra omo ni Mozambique and ebo a win for Algeria will mean say on between a Mozambique mo by 3 points into almost group no emu ayeden pa e wo honom Comoros any Chad and also mo bo neutral venue aye Bekane and as a game near den e koso Comoros e 9 points Chad any point bia Comoros winia oko 12 points oba be that second na is a Ghana twene mu 3 points
yeah
e wo honom nti Comoros any Chad they can bring their qualification no into a proper control and then 9 p.m. and as a game no better them ebe koso Mauritius any DR Congo ehia win esan say Sudan ebo home so possibility say Sudan ebo Libya obe win no e high na omukwa kopiemu e wo Nouadhibou Municipal Stadium no money Mauritania few countries are omo qualifiers at home na DR Congo e was say omotumi ko pick victory e wo honom na fe omotumi make sure say they will keep a year the gap no with Sudan no ombe keeping away because Senegal so e wo game ne Senegal any Togo and ebo Senegal ebo home Senegal ehia win at all costs is answer Senegal be order no and shada entry or 9 points at the third on the table sa and it's here e honum okopiem a Morocco or 12 points Niger e was 6 points enye easy nene omone Tanzania na eden elbo 12 points na me sure say if omu wini ena bibia me sure na Eritrea eka ho Eritrea eka ho but Eritrea me sure say ombo one match kra e che say wa be we na award point ni there
yeah
e the amount nti eba ne sa na so obi about 10 games
yeah
te eba ne sa na sa games ne maso nti no eba be 5 nti we are ti omo de no mebo 8 matches what I say 8 matches nti ene Morocco win almost 15 points. Now I say they are on the verge of qualifying. Yes, and no any dear war. May they mount a home. Young share a Europe so Moldova any Estonia bebone 5 p.m. Gibraltar any Czech Republic so bebone. Israel any Norway ebebo. Liechtenstein and so any Kazakhstan ebebo. Montenegro any Faroe Islands ebebo ena North Macedonia any Wales and so ebebo eholo. Yeah, yanko African games nim na yewi na yaba be hwe
Black Star game.
Black Stars.
All right. Listo. Nigeria and Zimbabwe game no. Game game pa. My main in rasa game ni mo. Obesha Coach Eric Shelley. The last time our ball the first game for Nigeria against Rwanda. Obeka Fini the George on your coach. So Obeka coach on it Victor Osimhen. Ebe nya asem Osimhen to try ampia say coach ni say Victor Osimhen ya committed and nema bebre ema since Fini the George was the coach for Nigeria. No anya do mo friend Victor Osimhen. The man we see a kind of Nigeria the Super Eagles. I know us listo o check Nigeria group now. In a group of South Africa, Benin, Rwanda, Lesotho, Zimbabwe. That's a Nigeria because team may be a team didn't want to Nigeria South Africa, but I mean South Africa in the powerhouse of African football. For South Africa in the kind of brand Nigeria like you won't put South Africa ahead of Nigeria. Facts.
Yeah.
And they check the group C standings now. South Africa lead with 10 points. Benin Benin the second with 8. Rwanda Nigeria share no or 7. Nigeria out of 5 games list or just 6 points. It means that averagely Nigeria and the African World Championship qualification are airborne. Averagely among a point per game. Lesotho or 5. And as Zimbabwe and Nigeria never or 3. If Zimbabwe are able to score Nigeria, they will go head to head with Nigeria with 6.6 points. This all is going to be an interesting game. It might be very tough for Nigeria, but it's a must win for Nigeria. In as much as Nigeria been their first ever win in the World Cup qualifiers, now Nigeria above 4 games. This all Ning now about draw 3 and lose 1. That 2-1 loss of lose to Benin, which was very bad to Nigeria national team. In fact, Coach Shelley Ababe take you over. He debut Nigeria in a 2-0 victory. And
Victor very difficult grounds.
Difficult ground.
Yeah.
And then they finish the judge. No man Osimhen, but when Osimhen died, what say? In fact, we are strikers up. Strikers are more prolific. Strikers are more goal poachers. Want to be more 5. I will be you on the Victor Osimhen the FM. And in fact, our boss had 2 goals no more. List all. We just 6 points behind 2 points, and then they Benin on that second. We lead Nigeria with 2 points. And Yemaina and Shida and go home Nigeria. And this is a game that is a must win for Air Nigeria. If indeed the last Nigeria we are about 6 games, it will be left with 4 games. If they really want to qualify to the World Cup, among next games, because already match are air drawing now about 3 draws, lose 1. So out of 6 games, not Nigeria about this to all. Out of the 10 games, they move 4. I'm going to drop a point. I'm going to draw 3 and lose 1. It means that if they want to qualify, the next 6 games they don't money. They have to win all. And I think that they coach Shelley, and then right now started that campaign. It's going to be very hard for Zimbabwe, so it must stop it. Nigeria for in fact Zimbabwe for they are not the side that make us say they are doing so well. No me team beat Benin or that second. In fact Rwanda no that ahead no machine and Zimbabwe about the shipping boys of the group or more just 3 points out of 5 games list or amabo. I see Nigeria scoring Zimbabwe. It should be an easy game. It should be a riding wave for the Nigeria for boys. Their hope is to make me look up ability some reassurance be some firepower be, and then they list all who checking Nigeria players now. They have one of the best players in African football currently. In fact, the last 2 African players of the year, they are playing for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. You mentioned Victor Osimhen the last 2 years ago, and the last year a player Oji Ademola Lookman. And in fact, there's no other player playing better. Uyi Abia Mohamed Salah, he's been up there exceptional. Who player was also better together with Mohamed Salah. Ademola Lookman, who is the African Player of the Year.
Okay.
So I think that they have the best players. In fact, these 2 players alone should be able to win the game for Madagascar. For Nigeria. So I mean a straight win for Nigeria is highly possible, and I don't see Nigeria scoring just 1 goal with the firepower they have. So Nigeria win and over 1.5 goals in that game. List all. Cameroon for Besha say they will make him claiming the top spot or group D anymore. After say Omubabesha Libya. I mean what can the history, the stats and the tension was sa given the list all. Osha the group D. I Cameroon at that first too.
Yeah.
Cape Verde. And at that first with 10 points. Cameroon were 9 and Libya were 8. Angola was 7. That is one group potentially from Obio sports number 1 and even to sports number 5 can even qualify to the next stage to the World Cup depending on the results subsequent. Nigeria, Cameroon, Cape Verde. Out of 5 games are listed on Amabon. It's going to be an interesting game, especially we checking 2 teams or more last 3 games in the World Cup qualifying. Libya lose 1, we draw 1, and we win 1. And then they Cameroon so we bought 2 draws at twice consecutive and we win 1 in the last 3 games our ball. In fact, across all competition, being the African Championship, it be African qualifiers, and it be Cameroon in the last 6 games. List all Unya Lusu game. And I expect this game to be very tough. In fact, Libya for no a team be they are very tough side, and they can punish you. How Cameroon Ekwakobo in the last game, you believe St. Carlos could beat me against Eswatini. Okobo that 0-0 draw, which was very bad for a year the World Cup qualifiers campaign or more. I see say a bit me Aiden Vincent Abubakar currently on here one goal, and people expect it's against Eswatini. No, could beat me go no one can equally Roger Miller.
That's Eswatini.
Eswatini.
Yeah.
43 international goals are Roger Miller Shema Cameroon. Vincent Abubakar a one goal shy of equaling that record, and indeed the striker and the leader wants to break that record because Abubakar list to YBO.
Yeah.
He might not be as best how skillful no Roger Miller yet, but he's a goal poacher.
Very good striker.
Very good striker. And you call it that record now. A bit of my name so alcohol. And Ibrahim Mbembo, Frank Magri, and a Christian Basagog Munina players at least all. If these players are able to start and Frank Zambo Anguiza out, Carlos Baleba able to me at or I mean who continue the game in the absence of Zambo Anguiza and Abranta and Martin Hogler. And with these players, it might be very difficult for Libya for say unbeaten and stop you. And Cameroon, this to all unbeaten or this current campaign in as much as or more down in quality within their squad, besides the quality within or more ranks with Cameroon. I mean, they've been scoring for fun at our home level, but they are currently our 3 games streaker against opponents at home. Our last 3 games against Libya, our Cameroon, and Cameroon doesn't have a good record against Libya doesn't have a good record against Cameroon. So I'm expecting that Libya for them, they have a tendency to say, me defending very well. The team are quality wise, discipline, bony, but I don't see say they can go the 90 minutes without Cameroon not scoring in this game. In fact, in Buemo, Vincent Abubakar are players to watch in this game, and I expect Carlos Baleba to do the work in midfield. So a straight win for Cameroon are highly possible in this game. Egypt, Sierra Leone. In fact, Egypt for least all they are flying. The Ombe hope said they will get a back-to-back win in the 2026 World Cup after some Mabesha Sierra Leone or Cairo match day 6. This to Usher more 13 points with a 2-0 victory against Ethiopia on Friday. I'm maintaining a 4-point lead at the top of Group A, and if more edge closer to secure a place in the finals. And they Ucheke Egypt, they have the best player in Africa, arguably Mohamed Salah. And they watch the World Cup qualifiers now. He's the only player watching more goals since Ghana in this year. Jordan Ayew with 6 goals anyway or provided 3 assists. So Upe one of the players at least in terms of goal contribution or more bulk on in the World Cup qualifiers. Mohamed Salah ahead. He's up there with Jordan Ayew 9 goals goal contribution in the World Cup qualifiers. It's going to be very difficult for Timonidine and Sierra Leone to stop them with Mohamed Salah, Trezeguet, and all these players. Watch Egypt at least almost last 6 games across all competition. Omunyan Lusu game, and in fact in the World Cup qualifiers, more form with the last 3, Omar winning 2, about draw 1. Same applies to Sierra Leone. In the Oko check your group now. In as much as Egypt a lead, Sierra Leone for so one side at least they are on the 3rd position with 8 points behind Burkina Faso on 11 points. If they are able to get a point from this game, it means that they will be edging closer, and they will hope sure say will make me I'm maintaining the 2nd position. I don't see say will make me cause upset, but for me, Egypt winning is highly possible in this game. So Egypt to win and over 1.5 goals over this game. Algeria Mozambique, this is going to be a game no better than o check Algeria group only Mozambique list Algeria was 12 points, Mozambique got 12 points. And these are 2 teams at least Obia Betima qualify. They are all scoring, and Omina so and concede goals. List all. If Algeria wants to qualify to the World Cup, they have to show say we are playing against Mozambique. Yeah, AFCON last 5 winners, of the AFCON, we are part. In fact, we have some good players our European scene. They have some good players our European scene. At least all. I'm hoping say they can step in. No matter what idea. Watch here. They have Matu Aitinori, Mandi, Amora, Abrantande, Mares, Muna players or meet me at home. But Mozambique for this to so Bekai Atletico Madrid for or more left back Renindo, a honor war. They have Santos or more Abrantande, Eddie Guild, and Langa Muna players. They've been playing day in day out in the European leagues. It's going to be very difficult, but Algeria, I see Algeria scoring, but likely that both teams to score in this game, so highly possible. So a straight win and over 1.5 goals in that game for Algeria, so list all highly possible. And measure the last game, Senegal Togo. List all Senegal group no Emwaishe. And then I say the World Cup qualifiers of Africa no. Some of the teams are yes, for this and top group, they are not even topping because pressure. Kwesi appear in team Sudan or more mass Senegal ni DR Congo team. I mean this is a group they have DR Congo. DR Congo used to they have AFCON near Cobon recently or Cote d'Ivoire. Go do a final quarter finals. You who chance in Bemba mo any the kind of players are omudo call tournament no how call bomb and Senegal need to go by Senegal or 9 points or that third Togo or 4 points. In fact, if Senegal are able to get a win, it means they will go 12 points. So Sudan and Tunisia, they will go and claim the top spot. Else our group anymore. So to me, any game no pressure. Egu Sadio Mane, Ismail Assar, any the players are on best starting. Ediama Senegal team no. It's going to be very good say Senegal beat man because Omar drop a point in previous matches on my ball. And with 2 World Cup qualifiers now at the halfway stage, list all they have to win. Into our check Senegal in the World Cup qualifiers 5 games, Omar winning just 2. About draw no add also. And if they want to qualify this to all, playing against the teams like Togo, we have to win. And I think that is going to be very difficult for Togo to at least get a point from this game. So a win and over 1.5 for Senegal list all highly possible in this game.
Okay, Andra, so the any can share a brand here no. You're not child TC Park, so what do you make of ne arrest ne subsequently Oma Jelino? Just quickly, Friday Oma Tumia Jelino.
This to all, see, these are some of the things that some of us we've been preaching in young football, especially disciplinary committee. Say case beba. Now you better not case in this so near the verdict beba should be our best service as a deterrent. I don't know why some people are surprised it was anyway.
Almost say Kofo Wieska. Afi ye di omko kota na ye cobra but ohiani mo browa asem nya duwa na ye no quick and right dey abetu jase papa bi sika bi aye dey afa ne nsase afi na ye ba be charge ne mpo na ye de na kwakogina court ye se ono akra so pese osasiu a whole lot of skirmishes ne ade what I say and then e bisa say esiden ma ase uni bidia what I say uni bidia ani 10 ne yabo kwadu but u obidia omutumi to me dan omwa ye skirmishes alo bia no omafa mu no one asem na say amanfo ka.
First of all, I want to make it clear say whatever the guy did was an offense and a define the Ghana Football Association, and it's also affected the game some way somehow. This is not the first time a pitch invader has been jailed, and I say you're fine no. In fact, people shouldn't forget say that pitch invader na OC Park so keep course no. I'm fine no. Sa pitch invader no e Ghana here. I'm fine no. I'm Samsung man. I mean they I'm banned no. Samsung man fine. And you see unlawful say ne ubetiati park so into uko Europa in 2019 on say Aston Villa someone na Grealish Aston Villa fan bi ko see park ni so e man ko waso ko ball Grealish ye jeli no for 14 solid weeks 14 weeks and also they are the World Cup final protesters be no more from the Pussy Riot for no got to see parks nipa for be protest in the World Cup final against Croatia and Air France. So protesters for list all ya arrest you sentence you to 15 days essence more a huge fine. And there's a electrical engineer on Sukoti Parks in somewhere 2022. I'll call her day shelf it for player. Now game require pon or more fining or more jailing for 24 weeks. A banning from 10 years. So it's in ball. So this is not the first time, especially in Ghana has a here ban newbie. I can't know Kotisi Parks will keep question list or more fining or more jailing for I think honestly for 30 is it for 4 weeks or say something weeks. I want to get the fine right. I'm more finding either for 2,400. If say they one TSS canal, they will jail him for 3 months. And this is something for the Ghana last so far games Ayabo the FA have been fined for $30,000 because any single pitch invader biano you be fining FA $10,000. So in as much as MPB and a minister be areas can be in the case what quarter year one doesn't mean that football na don't nation. If be a mistake we should find him. And always we have been preaching say cases nearby really cases in them. And then you saw Tremane winner sharks nearby. Yeah, by better case better. But right now we are happy that things like this about 3 days. The next time case na could be ya jailing for 100 days. Next time obi enwa Ghana bo game abekoko TSC Park so to me any news and the fact that we are preaching say pitch invading bonny is against the law. No, people should be aware. And at least to say when himself the talk about be a friend say a crime into the talk about you know that you'll be arrested and ubeko jail. So whatever message the High Court, the GFA are preaching, the kind of warning and they want to send out there, no, people should know. If you're not a man for him say OTC Parks or mine share $10,000. Yes, car kebeti media project, you bet media bois the Ghana football. But yes, car you so to me, a brantana you're jailing for 100 days. It's not the first time I jail you a pitch invader. And it's not the first time a BC or history of football. In fact,
they are talking about elsewhere now, Kano. Openibi could yes, Cassia. You won't soon. By any day, I'm out for in some more canon. It's not about say, Omo who be that say a jelly pitch invader. They are aware, but they are saying that's a way now a quick too much and a jail sentence. What about those who are stealing our money? Those who are sending a lot of people into poverty because of their greed and their thievery. Almost they have right to cancel. They have right to do and they have a right to bail. They have right to do and they acquire pen down. Sa ebi wa 8 years na entumi asamba aku entumi ka. But obi enim se padi with this car. But obi TC Park so they are. And on judges ni ebi so question ni ebi so say if you want to let people have confidence in Mojumodi Amudia, why is it that certain group of people clear so mo wieska yet to be for muntum but obi ekoye what is a banchi wakofa banchi 2 days 3 days pine near jelino boy yi dey Friday enyumre they take crown say Saturday and Sunday crown anya yi ye better say Monday ade Tuesday ya jelino. What I say, and people are asking questions, and we need to ask questions. That why is it that our judicial system is such that the people who are really causing a lot of harm, a lot of havoc to this particular country, almost somebody you to me 8 years, but only be be not paying. Very ban That is the bone of contention.
I think that people have their opinions, but to me, I think that a pitch invader, any ABR, Obia where we are the state's property, and where we are might be different from how the judicial processes might be different from Obia TSC Parks. You go with TSC Parks, sometimes Obia always can. You need several documents, you need a lot of things to go through. See, such cases, to me. Especially some of the judicial experience, and I say court proceedings baby amahu no e ba discuss my list only discuss a document I feel about track statement I feel about say the back and forth sani man it might differ from this case but me stance say the abrant and I list to and unlawful and a man quotian whether a quotian say abantem and amantem me every day we've been preaching say especially in our sports sector if at Renchembi hooliganism always we need the right response, quick attempt, quick response. Send be a best serve as a deterrent, and I don't see that. Abrante or CSC practice, there's no background say or you hear no. In fact, even if I a rich man being a TC park in this way, I don't expect say and can fine and any jail time member. But so the question is, in fact, maybe your judicial system, some cases be hard. Your system no any too great say it would take a lot of time to do investigations, to run through transaction statements, bank statement, all of those things. And so then you will no credit when you're not credit. But this Abrante case, I don't see the sense I'll say because Onis Kentino, Yama case in nature. What yes he parks will be able to say what is he parks Yachino. In fact, and yes what is he parks he had the attempt obabe yen man kokosan and still he or sanso si bag so and it's evident I say wakunipa yachi say police and they church and your friend e court akako free evidence akako yes say we yachi red-handed but secondly there no we have to go through processes, run through some statements who the document beba you be say counters animal so there are some cases who the quarter ebeche. And there are some cases where you actually red-handed. Partners one here chill in the do call ya remand 5 days. Say simple as that. So to me, people have their opinions. And say sometimes cases need, especially in our football. Say case be called disciplinary committee. I bet baby or her. Who the be not just fine be name man maybe a better chance now. So to me, I think that the opinions people are raising, I mean they have their point. But this matter, and you say they can compare. MPB and now obi okoku state money. This is different. So they in the outside, I say their football be here and they say yeah, we are making it right. So obi okoku state money and that's what called for some months, some years. So obi na what park if we have the right, you need the opportunity to make rulings very faster. Doesn't mean we shouldn't do it. So to me, I think people have the opinion, but I think that it's right. Say we are bantem, and it's something that always we've been preaching for. I mean. Listo against Madagascar.
Yeah. Brilliant professional performance. The performance wasn't too much, but it appears we were very aggressive, defensively, very organized. In the two games, we allow only 3 shots.
Yeah.
At goal. Analysis I say we concede a lot of shots. This one it was reduced. Our issues are especially in Sudan, set pieces, your Bonnie Biara. It appears that the coaches also noticed so that
the technical team they are working.
Yes,
among the mistakes.
Yes, and they worked on it and precisely taking. It was targeted. Party, which are very good physique, managed to head the ball twice into the. And when you say the Kenya first one, I think that Salisu should have done better. Coordinate kwa yankoshe. Coordinate then ekoya koshe. Ubeka no than 9. And I want to mean the anchor and to so they are working on that. Yes.
Yeah. At least I think that the game was a good game, and I'm happy that as a Ghanaian, the Black Stars were able to secure the victory against Madagascar. We knew that Ombe set it back. Now I'm by to the post formation and now was sports arena. Now me expect a coach Otuado Bayano and in fact Yambo coach Otuado Abaso in as much as they retain the AFCON qualifiers, which was very bad, and then Otuado were a very good record in the World Cup qualifiers. In fact, he qualified us to the Qatar World Cup 2023 against Nigeria 2 legs. No, when you're a single win, but your boy 0-0 Ghana and make 1-1 victory Abuja. I'm a Ghana qualify for the World Cup. Right now, Ghana Otuado record with us this season are on the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. Oba no na case hoot in edikan ko alusu to Comoros. And already kind about 1 game. But aside that game, no, or by at least the 4 World Cup qualifier games are winning against Madagascar, Central African Republic, Chad, and then Madagascar again. Winning all these games are very crucial for the Black Stars. One thing I'm going to say, he's doing very well, and who the mistakes, and no game no. Abu Francis actually say nay. Obo, one of the best defensive midfielders for Ghana. Nzene Elisha Usu Pry na yedene ba him say he was going to play perfectly with Thomas Partey. Nzene how Black Stars set it happen was very good. It didn't give Madagascar for the chance to play the ball behind us. In tennis, our 3 defenders, Jerome Opoku, who was fantastic. In fact, he can play the ball very well, or he very physical when he needs to be.
Yeah.
He is well composed. Ujinabo say yes, this is a player.
I think he has matured.
Yes.
From the last game for us. The first game, our boy, it was
that was a friendly match. But your mistakes.
Yeah, mistakes, and we're improving a lot. We are hoping that Omokomu season now take it. Mourinho Akoama, the standard now raising. Even Schindler, I think he had 2 wonderful games.
Yesterday I was saying that
2 wonderful games.
We are being honest. Near did Schindler performance with these 2 games. When he has to attack, he is very good. When he has to defend, when he has to dribble, when he has to cross, I say in the game everything was perfect, and it's going to be very hard for Ali Seidu if he wants to get back into this team. To be very honest, I know I'm a same way join the commentary. Say born like Schindler. Maybe a man for Adrian Yanko so. Maybe a man for Adrian Yanko so. And in fact, if Inaki Williams and Antoine Semenyo wants to be the first player on the team sheet, they have to outperform Jordan Ayew because listen, born Jordan Ayew for the past 2 games, watch also a leader.
But I was the club side. I was to me.
Yeah, say and make
because no matter how brilliant you are, if you are not playing, it will have a huge influence on you. What I say, the next 4 games now, though we are almost there, but also players and making sure say almost form no, they will continue to work hard.
Yeah,
work harder and return in June and July, September to come and finish these games off.
Yeah, and I mean it goes to all the players because I mean it was hard times. Mohamed Kudus, no she go my Black Stars ache. But try after AFCON, but try so benya go and finally I don't know nya a year ago before Thomas Partey ever share the second goal. I mentioned say Black Stars. I was there's one thing about this World Cup qualifiers team in terms of set pieces. Manu and Sienna Jordan corner na pack the second goal by. And you game against Chad. In fact, your goals ni na ebi a rebound from set piece na the ashe. The organization, everything na the ashe. And it's one thing that a big boy because in African terrain, we go share team be. She Comoros share one. See the number of chances I say no. We had a lot of set pieces. Yeah. Let's look into the AFCON qualifiers, boy, against Niger, against Sudan. The number of set pieces numerous set pieces against Sudan or Accra Sports Stadium. Jiku the year ball po in the first 5 minutes into the game. Set piece was over the bar and they utilize it. So having ways and means to
get results, especially on the continent,
from set pieces, from corners, free kicks, getting the right man to shoot the penalty. Because in fact, about penalty, Jordan Ayew a player in terms of penalty, he can convert. Inaki Williams, and in fact, he was a good penalty takers. Team minimum. About free kicks, Jordan Ayew, Mohamed Kudus, Thomas Partey. We have very good penalty takers in the team, and the corner kicks. So we have players. They are proving say the ball in Burma, they can also head the ball, and we have players almost beat my ball. So to me, I think that yesterday the game plan worked for the team, but it's not over yet, and I like the mentality. Anyhow, our players no, listen, Omaye eager say, made me qualify for the World Cup. In fact, Omode, the bashing, the sadness, the disappointment from failing to qualify for the AFCON, and Omode boy against Madagascar. In fact, the Madagascar game was a much needed win for Ghana if we really indeed wanted to qualify for the Mexico, Canada, and it's games in there. So to me, I'm very happy that we got a win. 3-0 victory. In fact, in 2 games, Yashe 8 goals.
8 goals, yeah.
Akipi 2 clean sheets, which is very good for the qualification here. So I'm very happy that we got a win. 4 more to go.
Yeah.
And the players shouldn't be complacent. That 2 wins against Madagascar and Chad in the Dromotrim. In fact, we play Chad again, we play Comoros, we play Mali, near about Central African Republic. These are games it means we need 3 of them. It means that in October, a final game in the World Cup qualifiers. You know that Canada, America, Mexico, we are going.
Right, I was for Yagusua Church and 7 Mondra. Wonderful victory to me, Kokunya, Sisi, Frederick Benjamin Asari, and our coach is for now he is the number 1 in Tino to June. Moshe Diabeko Kusina Fe Yomohu Diakone Diaba. What does this statement? What does it mean for the other local goalkeepers and the foreign-based goalkeepers? No? What does it mean?
Listen, I mean, in recent times, the Black Stars one positioner, they are rotating for the last 5 years. That goalkeeping role. In fact, in Zenka, that role near Rubia, unya or number 1 be no very younger or demuche with the help of other goalkeepers or man supports. But for the Black Stars in recent times, you who atizigini just follow court. You who follow court now order World Cup qualifiers. You call World Cup and you die. Atizigini ko die. You want atizigia or die AFCON qualifiers. You call AFCON and you ko die. Which you for in a cocoyede. A coco die. You who atizigi in recent times imposed. Ya change near the manaf aba. You please a game we for manaf. Sudan Niger and your manaf you want to die. Yes. So if you rotating, so it means that it's one positioner. The goalkeepers, the coaches believes that they have to do something about it. They have to get somebody who is going to be, the player. I'll say the big man be for the next 3 years. Same man in them. But you see, with the local goalkeepers, always I don't blaming the teams. The last time I know trying to bash Kotoko for what was the essence of benching Frederick Asari to play a Kamara? So what? It's steady Kotoko. The lad called Black Stars by and you don't mention my Frederick Asari die. It's been happening. You won't be a house of folk. A goalkeeper is all potty.
Ata.
I call World Cup.
I'm not to be losing the position.
Black Stars call up. I'm not losing the position to Eric French. O French, Black Stars call up against your World Cup qualifiers. Oni Abaroa, Mina call up. Oh, Mokoye. Or by and some been trying for Richmond a year, madam. It's been happening. It has been happening. Say, Frederick Asari call up. Kaiser Betnaka, and say, I didn't talk to this is a national Black Star goalkeeper, and did this. And yes, don't be chino. I mean, the boy. If there was a local goalkeeper who was supposed to be this Black Stars team, was to be no Frederick Asari because he lost his position to Kamara. In fact, and say Kamara suspension against Inswatramana. And that games I ever before Kamara none better. So what I say? So sometimes a coach always
captain. Honestly, yes, him captain of Kotoko.
Yes. Into you see, Sanima Wayne and see Frederick Asari. In as much as Wayne, the Adiba Kobe had when he say he owns me to team with because
yes, they are doing rebuilding. The best person maybe Frederick Asari or no was a 24 was a 20 and also
and listen only me na be adwin say won't me rebuilding without having experienced players in it. In as much as Frederick Asari me kai say before this game me a story be say Frederick Asari Ghana's best goalkeeper has gotten call up to the Black Stars and people were others say but in fact check the number of Ghanaian goalkeepers in as much as listen Yamfa clean sheets. Sometimes with the clean sheet a year.
Oh yeah, all the metrics.
All the metrics sometimes no, but I mean, who check it the European goalkeepers name how much choose the golden gloves. The clean sheet name. But sometimes clean sheet doesn't determine this is the best goalkeeper in terms of the team overall. But you see, people shouldn't forget that this was the goalkeeper when Great Olympics echo relegation open top 2 goalkeepers almost clean sheet. He was part. So it tells you that in as much as experienced goalkeeper at least all Benjamin Asare has for gamer apart from so saving games how one in the players I actually the whole senior Mukali Jikumukasa. This is a local goalkeeper but the experience any age no ultimate share as ibemo any players no free for and list all wouldn't say that is one thing now who your goalkeeper there boy any idea boy Edward Mendy Chelsea no he was able to communicate to the players and Sanchez untimi yes idea Unana Sanya man untimi because Magua enfi no you several times Magua player shouting Unana. So if a goalkeeper no untimi commanding the defense untimi shisho man list always a problem. Asari all the goalkeepers medicaka yehu Joseph Wolcott having good moment for us or they qualify for
if you were a man a chance.
Yes.
What has been the issue?
And you see, who share videos a buy between the Black Stars. I went to Accra Sports Stadium to watch goalkeepers, more training. And in fact, you see, list of all, it might be the operation way. No, but you see, list of all, so training guys not share. Apart from say, Benjamin Asare, or your colleague on a boy, I'm friend Abe. Apart from say Nkranfono ni system okokobo jineso the training he was the main man aside everything so who say video be training there who say artist get there training she saves are no training grounds penalty saves and is that shooting drills or he saves so in terms of confidence and the game build up he was the go-to guy but the thing is if the rebuilding now maybe you bet him they qualify but is he going to be part of our World Cup squad? That is the yes, it depends. What is your banner has to folk for baby benchine? So I said, no, my dear Freddy Kasari, so no, my dear, quality design. Richard Atta, Eric Oferenchi, and Abrant and Danlad Ibrahim. So a caution to your local go and Aquawi Nations FC defender. Or officially guns in Akuru in Bonnie set pieces or you good. Both nations who probably won't say the defender be a young money be. If you're Camaradini or Mediama, and a Richard halfway, or Bebo Black Stars as some was started benching, young friend Black Stars be. So sometimes the consistency level a part, especially home based players. No, me, I knew that if it wasn't for the break about the Ghana Premier League, not Kotoko striker, no, I knew that he was going to join the team. Kampoku. Yes. He was going to be part of the team, but league now a break here, no, affect no, because Oba no Bobe 5 games in league ni break here, and all didn't compare strikers no more abroad now. In fact, maybe Nanka Obet me Christopher Bonsu, but Christopher Bonsu the player for the future. Yeah, wouldn't mean Kase the Jerry free quadrant bench, ama fee ama Kwampoku because the Kwampoku agents, but I mean, Nyame June Black Stars be bought 4 nation tournament to England. So and I'm hoping that they want to include even more than 5 players, and this is where we have to strengthen the Black Galaxies. Let's have a core Black Galaxy. And it's face that Chawote Nations FC. Fantastic striker. Honestly, young. He can compete with Jerry Afriemo for the striking, but for the next future. So you're having a very good core for the Black Galaxies. You know how good core now. Then you promote the players like how I be promoting players from the under 20 list.
Okay, right. Yemfa also Nemranafi. Yeah, sorry, so nafi. Yeah, watching I am me twaso. Yeah, my member any games and so I mean me games in the African World Cup qualifiers because of Africa. Member so soon 10 Nigeria, Zimbabwe, a straight in for Nigeria, Benin, South Africa, double chance for South Africa, Cameroon, Libya, a straight in for Cameroon, Egypt, Sierra Leone, straight in for Egypt, Sudan, South Sudan, a straight in for Sudan. Algeria, Mozambique, a straight win for Algeria. Senegal, Togo, straight win for Senegal. And Morocco, Tanzania, a straight win for Morocco. Code near 1P GY. 1P GY. Okay, so Nigeria win, Rwanda. Nigeria win, Rwanda win, Angola win or draw, South Africa win or draw, Cameroon ni Libya win or draw under 3.5. Sudan win. Egypt win. Kazakhstan away win either half. Israel Norway over 1.5. Montenegro win or draw. DR Congo handicap 2. DR Congo ni Mauritania handicap 2. And Senegal home win. Algeria home win. And Comoros home win. Yeah, we are media no. Nti nyame adoma ochina. Yebesa aba na de aka echiri nyina. Yede aba na bibia tumi akoye. Oti Vincent nka asaka wa ha se bia wa ha.